A lot of stuff's going to happen here, depending on how you want to start this. We're into the draft. Staple bands too. My SHREW out. The Dolly here taken advantage by BSC as first pick.
Yeah, so Dolia's been an interesting one. If you guys were tuning in yesterday, you heard me say how much I disliked it, and it had like a 35% win rate in the groups. But in the playoffs, it's like a playoff buff. She has like a 75% win rate. So like, I don't know if she's just winning just despite me, or the teams are just really like doing really well with this hero now.
No, man, I'm on the same page with you here, because in the group stage, a lot of weight has been thrown with this Dolly alone. This can work if you guys have completely done your homework in the early game. But if you have failed to commit what's going to happen in the mid stage of the game, the Dolly is probably not going to work without any frontline in return. Now this, Shangguan and Luong from BSE, we're seeing vibes here on the international stage once more.
Yeah, so the synergy is quite good, right? With Dolia, the Celestial Melody, having that secondary one, Infinite Vastness, or even the finishing stroke, both very good, and that's going to set them up for a good second phase. But Fearless Esports, this is the Liang. We've seen it picked, I think, 2 or 3 times already. It has had not the greatest success. It has a lot of opportunities to be like being able to lock people down. It is on the squishier side, so if he's able to just kind of pop out of nowhere and just really lock that person down or have those zones of control, he's gonna have a good game, but he does need to be protected.
Yeah, it's we haven't seen a great Liang pull off just yet, because it's like kind of like a situation where like either these two teams would actually want to go for like frontline hard control, like creating a mobile sand pit that they can take advantage of. Again, it has been like a full tank kind of like chemistry that we've been seeing, like with Zhang Fei, with the Lian Po, and for Effie, and they kind of want to see here, like since there's no front line, this is like a full reliance on the Dolly alone. They would have freedom on the front line, especially into the farm lane. They would really have full security depending on how they will rotate against BSE.
It's interesting you talk about the Zhang Fei, because I think the 2 series before this, every team was fighting for the Zhang Fei or looking to ban it out, because teams were making play after play with it. But going into this one, and you're kind of looking at BSE and FE as the top 2 favorites, I would say. I mean, they definitely have that, that aura about them. None of them want it. None of them have bandits. And they're like, hey, come at me. We already have the heroes. We already have the roamers. We don't need to deal with it.
Yeah, one thing to deal is the Agudo. This was like the pick and flavor yesterday that really shook up a team that was like, wow, they're really going to use that. It was so effective for a BSE, for Musang King to use against a lineup. But this, in game number 1, they really want to pull this off right away. Comparing it with the Sunset, they have frontline control, and this is like a full overload pressure onto the Liang, and this would really break defenses out of FE.
Yeah, so, okay, it's in response to the Liang, also, Musashi who's going in, right? Agudo creates these giant zones of, like, no man's land. It's like, oh, if the team wants to fight, fine, but they're going to be very slowed down, and they're going to have a hard time. So it's kind of, almost contesting with the Liang. I think it's going to be very interesting as they pick up the Mayin here by Fearless Esports to kind of how they attack. The angle, the map control, and that vision is going to be super important as they initiate.
Oh yeah, I think that will be like the changing factor of how will this team initiate with a team fight. Dolia versus the Liang. Frontline, kind of a mage power pull kind of hero, but we will know for sure. In the hands of these 2 amazing teams, we will know what will be the advantage of this run. Agudo going back once more into the field, and we will see action against BSE between Fearless in game number 1. Let's find out what will be the start of their fight.
I like the fact that BSE are kind of sticking to this Agudo pick, right? It had a great success yesterday. It was able to just kind of control the game, and they were very dominant, right? It kind of, brought something new to the picture. Agudo was not picked a single time, so it was hidden from all the other teams, and now they're showing it. This is like the identity of BSE moving forward.
Yeah, they're really capable of handling like this kind of pocket picks or like a surprise picks that they can do against a team, because they know Musang King will be the apple of the eye for banning here. So they might want to consider taking his comfort picks out or stronger picks out. But yeah, looks like they're opening something here with a new page with the Agudo, and they want to take it here in game number 1. So far, they have made probably a great success to it, starting it from yesterday. And we're seeing here the counter, like, will Liang be effective? And we're seeing the basic combos here that you guys could use at home. And the question is, will the Liang be enough to defend where Musang King can initiate from?
Yeah, and look, it looks like Fearless Esports right now, we're kind of like, I know what Musan King plays. He's within, like, you know, this stable of heroes. He plays like the Ogren, and that's kind of why they've, you know, piloted the Dao Dao Musashi to the top tier to ensure that they have a counter and they have ways to do it. But Dao Dao going in.
Yeah, it's going to be the first attempt, and it might be the first blood. He will walk away with a sliver of health at this point, but Fearless Esports, the first one to lay some aggression.
Yeah, aggression.
Oh, hang on, Xiang. He's going to walk away with another, not really 1 HP, but at this point, yeah, it's a very aggressive start to the game, right, for the side of Fearless?
Yeah, and then an exchange of hero as well. Xiang was using it last night so good. Now they're doing it with the Sunset. Probably they want to control front line and end line, back line here, protection, and just do it with initiations. But for those of you who can still want to get this Yuan Stellar Songstress, is now available from 1018 to 1031. So cosmic advantages with skin flexes. And let's see how this goes. Like Xinglin and Xiang up top here. Meanwhile, there's not much of a fight just yet. This is how the game goes mostly, right? Wait for a tempo to break, find an angle onto the lanes, and find pressure. Find the first blood, which is not happening just yet.
Yeah, but, you know, like, I mean, that's just starting the early game is going to be, you know, super important, right? Just setting the tone. Nobody wants to take anything risky. Musan King will just continue to just farm, and I think that he's been, dare I say, less aggressive than he normally is in the early game. He's going to let Dao Dao kind of just farm on his, and he's just going to secure his side of the jungle first. He just wants to play even. He doesn't need to go crazy. He doesn't need to be super aggressive. It doesn't look like BSE are trying to funnel him extra farm. Because Agudo can kind of farm well on his own. So he's doing well. I mean, he's a little bit behind, like 100 gold from Dao Dao. And but Dao Dao is the type where he's going to want to get more farm funneled to him.
Yeah, I think that's one more important to note, right? Dao Dao is not letting go of any possible resources this moment. I mean, because they know how the advantage of the Agudo is just so effective in terms of like disruption. You have vision, you have more ways to extend positions where you can get data out of FE. So far, they're not letting it go just yet, because if they do let a moment open for a team here, like this is just a way of seeing how these two teams are capable of strong punish.
Yeah, and it's going to be a lot of punish, right? I mean, like, if action happens, you know, let's just say BSE gets jumped, you have Xiang coming in on the boat, right? So you have ways to kind of counter-initiate. You also have a get-out-of-jail-free in both the finishing stroke, JR's infinite fastness. So you have ways to get out. You have a lot of options, and you're kind of self-sufficient in that regard. So that's going to be good for them because, you know, when Dao Dao wants to think about going in, I mean, they have their options out.
Yeah, I think the fur ball just being cute in the front line is just a factor of like, oh no, I can't really initiate just yet, because it will work where Xinglin will be coming from. That's why we see the positioning here.
Yep, Xinglin gets the catch as well. The rest of BSE are jumping in for support. It's going to be first blood for Xiang, but it's instantly traded out as Woodwind takes the fall as well. The major objective is the one that they're fighting over. So Musan King, he will make it over to the Tyrant's pit. And Zihong already gets his first core item, the Insatiable Toe.
It looks like they're going to be taking the Tyrants here. That's going to be a pretty big win for BSE. I mean, losing Xiang, trading with Woodwind is not a good trade, but taking the Tyrants in addition to that, then it's cool, right? So not the worst thing in the world. Xiang, though, when he was trying to get away, he actually expended his flash, so he died as he was flashing, so he did use that. So that's something to take note of as
Yeah, they have damage too. So with the buff that BSE has, they could really move forward, and we look at the pressure. Continuous peel in their vastness.
Yeah,
used as well.
Yeah, so JR was going in. He was going aggressive. I thought it was like he was under tower or whatever, but again, he's a much better player than I as the infinite vastness to safety. No big deal. KK actually has to recall all the way back while JR just kind of, you know, pit stops at the T1.
Okay, it's like looking for openings here. Same thing that happens while BSE has the advantage for objective here. I think they don't want to commit just yet, and this is what kind of like what we expect. Like how they want to think on high tier level is like mainly who blinks first. That's where they get an opening out of this one. But so far, they're just doing what they want to do in the early game. Find a pressure point with the turret T1. Having a low HP there, they could really dictate something out of FE.
Look at this chess match, right? Just in terms of movements, the net worth is like I mean, it was a K, but I mean, it's fluctuating quite a bit. I mean, this bottom T1 definitely helped BSE to kind of get things going. But again, FE right now playing a little bit more standard. They're kind of sticking around to see exactly what sort of movements BSE have, because this is what BSE want. They want to create, they want to push you back and use their zones to make it really uncomfortable for you to engage.
Yeah, I think that the engage engage is more vital right now. That's why we see Shingle here on the same position, on the same bush, because they know the only way that they can isolate someone here is probably wait for an opening or distract something out of BSE.
Yeah, so it looks like Busan King will have that wild growth, continue to push it out, make it uncomfortable, but FE looking for the right approach. They have all 5 members. Mind you, when they commit like that, thinking that there's going to be a team fight, they're not farming elsewhere on the map. So that's a little bit more farm going to the way of BSE.
Yeah, and with the farm now being focused up top, they're looking for a chance here to squeeze out BSE. The Overlord is open, the Primal Bond is out. They will really wait for a moment if Siam steps in.
Oh, nice catch. It's a 3-on-1. Does he survive this? Will not survive. No, he does. He uses the set sail Xiang. He wastes all of their abilities, and here comes the counter attack as well. Down in the front lines. Blood Rage expended as well. Nobody's able to help him just yet. He will be taken down, but there's more damage to be had with the finishing stroke. They do get Xingling down to half health, but it's a big win for the side of BSE.
Bro.
And hang on, people will get taken down. A big start. 3 kills is a big one for the side, especially when looking at BSE against Fearless.
My goodness, did you see the reaction from Siang alone? He knows that he's not going to go down. When he used that set sail, it was a complete wraparound, and he literally called BSE, guys, somebody literally attempted to kill me here, and they were all over the place, and they were completely onto the shakeup while FE was trying to focus to defend in their turret.
Right, so that was the amazing part, right? Siang actually surviving there, getting back to safety, but not only did he survive, the rest of BSE were like, oh, we have heard the cries for help, we are gonna be there, and they were there pronto. They made it, and they got a couple kills out of this. This is completely different than my ranked games, where if I die, all my teammates are like, haha.
Oh, well, that could be the case for you. But I think with
like
this is like a team here that we want to see more of, like doing a counterplay or a counter punish, because one thing that we're seeing here, BSE is taking advantage on those little missteps that FB has been committing, and it turned out that attempt with the hold that Woodwind did, it wasn't enough. Like they managed to escape that, and from Sunset, oh, I don't know, man. Like, they need to find a great way for a counter here, but so far they're really pushing FE to attack.
Oh, it's a mistake. They will start. Oh, Xingling gets caught out. Busan King drops the wild growth as well. Here comes that finishing stroke on the back line. JR looking for an opening. No deaths just yet. Dao, they might consider this re-entry into the front lines of BSE, but for now, it's a stalemate. Fearless Esports survive the next play.
Getting contempt, not the worst thing in the world. Obviously, you know, FE were up to the call. They were able to defend. No losses from their side, but BSE did a little chip damage on that top one. I mean, mind you, they do have vanguards that are going to be pushing, so all 3 lanes will be there, and BSE go right back to the top because they want this top T1.
Yeah, you really take it away, but good thing FE don't want to commit just yet in another mistake. Good thing they got the Tyrant though. So another buy time for Waze, but look at this map right now. They're not letting go of possible counter pressure. So far, it has been Shinglin eyeing on this bottom lane pressure, but the top lane, man, another T2 taken away against FE, but BSE here has more edge here to just keep on moving forward when, well, nobody is committing to any steps yet.
Like, I get the fact that, you know, like the Agudo pick is really throwing them off. You know, they're not playing the norm. But at the same time, you're kind of like, hey, Busan King's not doing a whole lot of damage. He's just been like this controller, this map controlling type of hero, and he's been very good of just pushing them away. But I actually think the impact of this hero is quite high.
Yep, Sensei going to be committed as well. They did not manage to stop that attempt onto the Overlord, and it's a Shadow Overlord, so Fearless Esports, they do have something going for them in the map. But once again, it's still all advantage for BSE.
Yeah, one thing also for making an impact and advantage, I think one of the players like understood, like, should we slow down Busan King when he gets to the knockout stage by using his comfort picks? But I think a lot of this didn't expect that Agudo will show up, and if you want to take Agudo into this game, it will require you a lot of damage, but so far it will need to have 3 people to take him down. But that kind of way, he's like a mascot, but being so effective by just looking for ways to camp out against FE's defenses or resources.
look, I'm kind of offended that you call him a mascot. But I do agree with you. He's just so cute, right? Like, and he's really, in terms of like KDA, he's really not had that much of an impact. So he's been more of like the cheerleader type of just kind of like motivating the squad and keeping them in. But he's just been putting them away. Like, how do you deal with his cuteness?
Well, there's no amount of damage right now for FE to even get a kill out of BSE. They're kind of waiting for like I don't know, man. With this kind of build lead up, we could actually lead to a point of no return sooner for FE to push into a mid to late game power spike. It's just because nobody could dive in an extended team fight either. Dowdow, if Dowdow and Shinglin goes in, it needs to complete fall from Fabled. So KK is not in the right position just yet to fight back. And so far, it's not yet the time for FE, but as the second goes for BSE, they're getting stronger.
Yeah, definitely getting stronger. But I mean, Fearless Esports need more time and space. They've been pushed away. BSE are just like focusing so much on this middle and bottom lane, so that's controlling most of this map right here. But you know, Fearless Esports push back. BSE looking to start their siege. JR all the way up in front, poking and prodded, making it very uncomfortable. They don't have minions here, so Fearless Esports will hold at least for now. But again, they're pushed back in the base. Really no space.
Yeah, I think the space is just needed here for Fearless Esports. As they build up with the items, they really need to translate it into a kill or somebody, or isolate someone. Look at this, they're just staring on the red buff? Oh yeah, I thought he was just staring onto the objective, but who's thinking here with this kind of setup? We were calling him mascot, but it's more than that. Like it creates a psychological effect to FE. Like, how will we be able to take him down? Do you guys have the damage? You guys have the pick off? Okay, if you do the pick off, will you even live for a second here? Because they rotate as three here. Like Victoria, Zeh, and Zihong here, not using his friendly just yet. And it has been effective, guys. It's creating a snowball impact, literally.
Yeah. I mean, they're so tanky. They have get out of jail free cards. They have full map control. They have all of the vision. So finding that right avenue of attack, very difficult for Fearless Esports. I think they're doing a good job of trying to buy themselves sometimes by split pushing. Zinglin has been going to the top, now he's in the bottom, pushing it through. Somebody from BSE does need to react to that. But again, BSE are like, hey, we'll sacrifice that one lane. We'll let the tower take a little bit of damage so that we can potentially push, maybe do some chip damage on that T3.
Okay, like you're left with like 3 high-tier turrets, high ground turrets rather, with no presence of contest here for FE. Yeah, they were just going to be willing to take this for free. They can still go for the Overlord if they want to because nobody will attempt. They're really caging in Fearless Esports right now to not commit to any possible contest, but not unless they're more ready now. They have been waiting for the right time, but though if this kind of hold up in this situation can still be effective in the game, we will know for sure if will this be a worthy kind of a patiently wait against BSE.
So look, BSE right now, the way that they're pushing, they see where the top lane is. Look at where it is right now. Somebody from Fearless Esports needs to deal with that. They have all of that vision. That's been pushed away. BSE know that they have that space, so they go for the Overlord. Even with the Primal Fury Bond, they're still going to be able to burn it down because they have that space and time, and they have the vision, and they know exactly where Fearless Esports are. Very smart play.
This is just going well for BSE right now. Taking all the objectives, taking all the kills, just countering the waves down bottom. Shinglin is like a, guys, I need to do something here. But one thing also is opening an entrance here is the top lane. They've been eyeing for this and they've been holding on to the enhanced Overlord. And this fight could come any sooner because nobody is still making an attempt to do a startup for this team fight, not just yet.
They do get it, right? So mobilization is going to be dropped on the top lane as well. This is going to open up the base on the side of Fearless Esports. And right now, like you guys mentioned, right, there is no information, there's no movements coming in. But they will make it quick because now the Shadow Overlord is going to be flying down onto the bot lane as well. BSE are definitely looking for a fight.
Yeah.
Definitely looking for a fight, but they're going to slow siege, right? They're going to just continue on. The Vanguard has now been taken out. So then, okay, now they direct their attention to the bottom lane, right? They have the ults. Once everything's ready, they have the Wild Growth just creating these zones where nobody can really fight you. Look at this. It's going to be a free bottom T3 because they can't even go into this.
Yeah, Singling going to try and get someone out, but it's not going to work out. And once again, mistakes were made. BSE open up the base on the side of Fearless, top and bottom.
Okay.
I mean, this game is so different from the last series, right? Where there was just a lot of fighting, there was a lot of, I mean, it was scrappy, it was chaotic. BSC, Fearless Esports, are definitely more calculated with how they proceed. Look at how they slow siege. No one's really in danger. If they're gonna go, they have the counterattack. So again, these teams just, you know, keeping each other at arm's reach, but being able to put a lot of pressure in, making it very uncomfortable for Fearless.
This is like the question, right? How will they reach the front line of BSE with the damage now being built by the items are being built by AD? So Daybreaker, okay, 4 items in. I don't know, will this be enough? It's just the zone of Zeng.
Okay, they call them up. Xiang starts the fight, gets a kill on the Woodwind as well. Dao falling less than half his health left. BSC, now the base is open. It's completely empty. No more defensive structures except the crystal. So Fearless Esports, they need to be really careful about how they approach this fight. Couple of Rider wins as well. The base is open. Crystal will be taken down. In fact, no, they want to get the kills first. And victory goes to the side of Black SHREW Esports. Game number 1.
Well, that wild growth, the wave breaker combination, it's like, hey, come at me, bro. What are you gonna do? This is like my playhouse. Like, I'm in your base, but you can't do anything. You can't enter the zone. It is my home. I'm taking over.
It was the game of Black SHREW Esports, game number 1. They managed to control everything out. Even the objective